The markets are just in deep dookie.
I got a notification from CoinGecko that said that Bitcoin has touched 96,780. Oh, look, just got
So
another
funny.
one. Bitcoin is now 96,968.
Oh, it's
So
up.
there's your volatility.
It's up. It's up from 96.
We're back,
Yes,
baby.
baby.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the NFA Podcast, your weekly podcast where we give you all the news and market insights into the emerging tech space. We talk about crypto, AI, and other emerging technology stocks and cryptos. Find out.
Yeah, that's what we do. Cryptos. Stocks.
I started so well. I started so strong on that.
You started strong, and then that's kind of like the markets. Start strong and then fail. But that's okay.
Well,
we're going to bounce back
okay.
strong from this one.
Yes.
We're going to
Yes.
bounce back strong.
There's only one
get you.
direction it can go from here, and that's better.
I don't think so. I wish this is such a... I don't know what generation you're in. I don't know, under 50. You guys are all millennials to me. But such a Gen Z thing or Gen Y thing to say, oh, it can only get better. No, it does not. You know?
Well, I meant my intro. I will only get better.
Oh, you want to do another one? I thought you meant the markets. I'm like, no, it can go down more. You know?
No, the markets are a bit scary, let's be honest. Should we just dive in?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's dive in. Yeah. Let's start with the news. Do you have any news? Oh, you have a bunch of news. I'm just looking. Looking at
Yes,
script.
I do. And so
Yeah.
obviously we know that there's been the markets have really been volatile for the last week. On our
think?
last episode, we spoke about the U.S. elections and the uncertainty that's causing, and uncertainty always leads to people withdrawing their funds from high risk assets, which includes crypto. So, I mean, along with the U.S. elections, there were a lot of other things that affected the crypto space. Like the EU, they proposed a law to ban cash transactions over $10,000 and ensure KYC on crypto transactions over $1,000, which in today's money really isn't much. It's like a pair of shoes from a luxury brand. So to put it into perspective, they want to track everything that you're doing with your funds, which kind of goes against the ethos of crypto.
Still, I lost you after the part $1,000 for a pair of shoes. That's where you and I differ, my friend. But then again, I wear slippers. I wear like
From
30
a
bucks
luxury
slippers. What is
brand.
it? I live on an island. From a luxury brand.
Yes.
So Havaianas, not a luxury brand in your world? I guess no one in Dubai wears slippers, right? I mean, what do you people wear? Like golden moccasins?
Hermes,
Loafers?
usually.
Actually, it's pronounced MS.
Oh, sorry. Please educate me, Mr. Javianas.
Actually, it's pronounced Havaianas. The markets are just in deep dookie.
I got a notification from CoinGecko that said that Bitcoin has touched 96,780. Oh, look, just got
So
another
funny.
one. Bitcoin is now 96,968.
Oh, it's
So
up.
there's your volatility.
It's up. It's up from 96.
We're back,
Yes,
baby.
baby. Up November. I cannot do nothing with the word November. It doesn't rhyme. But the situation is dire. Well, we can go into the markets first, and then we can talk about the news.
Yeah.
Because there was some other news other than
There was, yeah.
What do
So
you want to do?
the Bank of England proposed a temporary limit on stablecoin holdings, which means that individuals cannot hold more than 20,000 pounds in stablecoins. So this would be your USDT, USDC, your AUXT or XAUT, which is your Australian dollar, whatever it is, whatever stablecoin it is, you are capped at 20,000 pounds and businesses at 10 million. What about Coinbase? How's Coinbase operating?
I have no idea. I don't even understand what's going on there. I don't understand if you know, to be honest with you, I don't really know if the UK or EU market really influences crypto. I think the Europeans in general tend to overestimate their importance on the planet. It's like,
But what was interesting was that the Bank of England did it to prevent mass withdrawals.
I have an alternative take on this.
Okay.
It's from CoinDesk. So now what I'm saying now is a quote from CoinDesk. But it says, why are Bitcoin, XRP, Solana, and Ether sliding as gold and silver soar? Which is interesting. Gold and silver had gone down a lot and went up again. And it says, major cryptocurrencies and gold and silver have been on diverging trends despite the pause in the dollar rally. I think what's really going on, this problem in the US with the government shutting down and then restarting and the way it's been done really impacted the trust of the markets in centralized governments, especially the leading market in the world, the US, which led to this pressure on the dollar, which leads to people doing this de-dollarization trend, going into that, and then going into gold and silver as a security.
I find that so interesting because I was having this conversation over the weekend as well. That that everyone's like, oh yeah, crypto's going up, but in reality, the dollar value is also going down, and so it's just all intertwined and just. Yeah.
Have you noticed that people very often say in Asia and in Europe, let's wait until Wall Street opens? How that's still so influential?
Yeah.
That's what I notice.
It is.
I don't remember in crypto when people were saying it all the time.
No, the US has always had such a big impact on the market. Always. Mm-hmm. Well, there was a piece of good news that came out this week from the US, though.
Okay.
The IRS approved rules that allow Wall Street crypto products to distribute staking rewards. Now, in the past, these were considered securities, and any rewards that were linked to tokens were automatically considered securities, and they would face legal repercussions. But this is the first time that they've approved rules to allow firms to offer yields on Ethereum and Solana while giving traditional investors a bit more clarity and access to like the rewards that we get in the crypto space.
And so does that mean that before this was not regulated or not allowed? I'm not sure what that
No, it wasn't
really
allowed.
Means.
You weren't allowed to distribute any rewards as a token because it was automatically considered a security.
Oh, yeah, if you had like dividend payment, you failed the Dewey test. And then I see that you also have some news about Coinbase, which I just thought was funny.
I do.
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
Coinbase has decided to reinvent the ICO. I mean,
I just actually start giggling. What? Like, huh?
We've been in crypto long enough where ICOs, we've seen the ICO boom and crash, and then we saw IDOs, and then we saw IEOs. And for those that are not in crypto, ICO is an initial coin offering. IEO is an initial exchange offering. IDO is an initial decentralized exchange offering. And now they're reinventing the initial coin offering, which I find really interesting because it comes after Pump Fund has also launched the initial pump offering. Not saying that they're linked, but it's just a funny trend to see coming back.
Which means IPO, which just for the people that are from the TradFi chat guy world, I guess IPO means initial pump fund offering.
Well, yeah, initial pump offering, basically. So yeah, I guess we're seeing new token launches come back. I heard something really interesting a couple of days ago where it said in 2017, we only had 1,000 different tokens. In 2021, we had anywhere between 10 to 100,000 tokens. Today, there are over 11 million tokens, and so there's no way that we're going to get a bull run like we've seen in the past, where everything just projectiles upwards. It's just not going to happen because it's such a big spread of liquidity. But it is interesting to see these trends kind of resurface of what tokens are going to make it from launch, what tokens have these backings from launch, and I feel like markets like this really help sift out those 11 million tokens into ones that are actually going to provide value and make it in the future. Because I think what Coinbase has done is gone to all the investors that have gone through now their second bull market, and they're going to them and purposely targeting them and saying, you remember the ICO era, you remember all the 1,000Xs that you got involved in. Let's bring that back.
Come and do it here on Coinbase. Yeah. Come and do it on Coinbase. We have very low fees.
And they want to do it better. They want to propose new regulations. So really it is an exchange offering again, but
exactly.
This time on Coinbase.
And there is a guy called George Hotz, and a very simple example he makes is, he says in traditional web infrastructure, if you would send an email with Gmail, it costs very little because it's just like an email. It's on a data center, a server in a data center. It's easy. But if you do a query on ChatGPT, and he has a $200 a month pro account, he says the money they're losing on me is amazing because he uses so much more compute power than he's paying for with his $200. So what he's basically questioning is the whole premise of the business model of OpenAI. He basically says they cannot make money with the current business model, which is why Sam Altman has been pushing now the whole time the story of there's an OpenAI device coming out designed by Jony Ive, the legendary Apple designer, whose company they've bought, where Sam Altman was already a shareholder. Long story short, my question to you is the AI value chain crumbling from the top down, because this year alone, 360 billion has been invested in AI infrastructure. And if it falls, will it all go down?
It's
What do you
so
think?
funny. I've called the AI bubble an AI bubble, and it is an AI bubble. I don't think that it's going to fall because it is still a hype. There's still a lot of fear around it. There's still regulations to put into place. It's hard to say whether it'll burst. I don't think it'll burst so quickly. Maybe it'll just match up to price. Maybe the growth will keep accelerating until the price kind of matches up to it. I'm not sure what direction it's going to go in, but it's definitely a bubble right now. We're seeing it in crypto already, but I don't know if you saw SoftBank sold $5 billion in of their NVIDIA shares.
NVIDIA, yeah.
But then
I couldn't believe it.
They said yesterday that they would invest $22.5 billion into OpenAI.
Yeah, they signed that deal earlier in the year, and they have to, now that OpenAI a few weeks ago did this deal with Microsoft so it can convert into a regular for-profit company, it means they can kick this deal with SoftBank into effect, that SoftBank has to finance them these, 22 billion or 25 billion. So now SoftBank has got to pony up the cash. So they had to sell their NVIDIA stakes.
Here we go.
Here we go. And these are the scary parts. But there is one difference. So I'm sort of on the fence, which I rarely am. I'm kind of a black and white kind of guy. But here I'm kind of on the fence because the companies that invested most of this money in AI infrastructure are Microsoft, Meta, Google, Amazon, which are highly profitable, which is a huge difference from my day, back in my day, 25 years ago during the dot-com bubble, where I was in Holland, first in Europe and then in the US. Back then, we were all losing money. This is different because it's companies that are profitable are spending their assets, their cash that they've made. They're making hundreds of billion in profit a year, and they're spending those in AI infrastructure. I think it's different than if a money-losing company is doing it. However, my question to you, question number 2, should we worry if profitable big tech companies like Meta, Google, Microsoft take on debt to finance AI spending? Because Meta has now announced there's 70 billion that they're spending this year on AI. It's a little bit much even for them. They're going to borrow money to invest in AI infrastructure.
No, I would say it's a smarter thing to do for Meta themselves, take on debt so that, it doesn't disrupt your cash flow. It makes sense as a business. But for the investors in Meta, proceed with caution. It is higher risk, but with high risk does come high reward.
And they did get punished. So it looks like Wall Street agrees with you and then punish them. That is actually kind of smart. Take other people's money to take high-risk investments at a low interest rate and don't put your hard-earned cash into it. If it all falls, you're going to pay them 5-6%. Better than actually putting in your own money in it like they've done, in the metaverse, putting 40 billion, 50 billion of their own hard-earned cash
I feel like they've learned from their mistake. They put $70 billion into their metaverse and it never even launched. Like they just didn't make it. So I guess they've learned from their mistakes. But that being said, taking on debt, especially in a company that you've invested in, it's a little bit scary.
The funniest thing ever is that OpenAI asked the US government to introduce backstops for AI infrastructure spending, basically saying if we borrow money and invest in AI infrastructure, if it all goes wrong, would the government bail us out? And then Sam Altman wrote a 15-page with capital letters. He said he hated capital letters because it made him feel like school, but he wrote with capital letters. So I guess he felt it was a school assignment. He explained, no, that's not what we meant. Is it good that the US taxpayer, you as an American, would have to pay for Sam Altman's spending?
No.
Elaborate.
No, the country has over $38 trillion of debt already. Secondly, you've just moved into a for-profit company. Why would the US government bail you out for your bad management?
Sam Altman, I think, has a point. If infrastructure is critical, right? Roads, airports, harbors, why is digital infrastructure something the private sector only has to pay for without any government
Because it's a private
support?
Company.
Yeah, but then you could say, let's flip it the other way around and say, okay, you do an AI infrastructure, the government co-finances, but then also the proceeds should go back for the government. So the first, profits that OpenAI makes on selling shares and everything go back to the US government as well. You could make it like a public-private partnership.
Yeah, you see, that's fair. But then for me as a user, I'm canceling my subscription. I don't want the US government seeing every single chat that I have with OpenAI.
Oh, they're seeing that anyway. Trust me.
I know, but
think
still, there's like further involvement. There's incentive there. So I don't know. I don't like it. I'm not for it.
And the fun part, all as this came out over the last 10 days, what I thought was funny, another Chinese OpenAI rival launched, which did amazing. And then just last night, OpenAI released ChatGPT 5.1 without any benchmarking. It just said it's different. You can have flavors. You can have like a more personal style, somebody that agrees with all your stupidity. In my case,
like their
or you can have it more.
OpenAI updates always mean that I have to reset my GPTs.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting. All right, moving on to markets. Markets, we already touched upon it a little bit, especially my point. So my question is to you. Have you looked at our predictions from last week and how they panned out this week?
Yeah.
By any chance?
Yeah.
You did pretty good. Yeah, but you did good. So
I thought it was going to move sideways, not down.
Still, let me put it this way. I had predicted Bitcoin to be at 109. It's hovering around 97 right now. Nish had predicted 104. Actually, very specific, 104.3, because she's a very specific scientific approach girl. So clearly she's closer to 97 than I am. You're only 7,000 off. I'm 12,000 off. Oops. That's on BTC. The altcoin season index, again, Nish got it right. Out of our 3 predictions, you win 2 out of 3. You had it at 32. It's now at 26. We do have to explain always what the altcoin season index is, but it basically means that over the last 6 months, only 26% of the top 100 tokens did better than Bitcoin. So it's shocking. It's only 26. Bitcoin didn't do that
today
great.
It's at 32.
Yes, it's at 32. But you had predicted 30, whereas I had predicted 26. So you were closer. But then the fear and greed index, which I still don't really truly understand how that one is calculated. How is the fear and greed index calculated? But we always look at it. 0 is a lot of fear. 100 is a lot of greed. I had it at 25. You had it at 30. So that's the only prediction I got right.
So you won that one.
I won that one, which means that I thought people would be very fearful. And I was closer to that.
The fear and greed index is calculated on price momentum, volatility, I'm reading it, derivatives market composition, and CMC proprietary data answer. Basically
something they made up.
Yeah, but it's those 5, basically. It's like keyword searches and stuff like that. Yeah, 22.
Okay. Where do you predict Bitcoin is going to be next week?
104.3.
Yeah, weak. Okay, I'm gonna say 100.
Okay,
I'm gonna say 100. Altcoin season index. Where do you think it's gonna go?
38.
38? You're crazy. Okay, you're gonna put 38. Okay, I'm gonna say 30. Negative Nelly here. And then we have the fear and greed index. It's at 22 right now.
25.
0 is fear. 100 is full greed. You're saying 35?
No, 25.
Oh, 25.
Yeah.
I was going to say that. Now I got to say something different. I'm going to say 30. Okay. So that basically means that you and I are not too optimistic. We agree on that.
Yeah.
Or
in the long run.
No, but this could also mean that we think other people are fearful, right? I mean, that's the thing with the predictions. It's like with the market. Do I think Nvidia is worth 5 trillion? No. Do I think other people think it's worth 5 trillion? Yes. Therefore,
that's a really good point. The reason that
I only make good points, Nish. You're saying that like it's a surprise. This is great.
That's why we have this podcast, for all the great points.
That actually is a good point.
Thank you.
So fake, yeah.
What's funny about our predictions? Both of us agree that Bitcoin will go up or rebound a little bit. So there's that. The reason for my take, though, is that right now I feel like all the unstable new money has left.
True.
I feel like the 2 weeks before, where the price was volatile, people got scared, touched 98. As soon as they had a chance to withdraw at 104, they withdrew. And today we're seeing it at 96. So yeah, I feel like we're in a good position as a new foundation for us to, keep growing.
Have you seen that guy that had this whole meltdown about we can't have anything good anymore. I used to be able to do 5x in 6 months, and now I cannot even do like 2x in 6 months. I don't know. It was almost funny.
Yeah. But it goes back to what I was saying. 11 million tokens versus your 10,000. Of course you're not going to do your 5x or 6x. I miss it too. My best was a 26x. It was phenomenal.
It was like the average guy cannot get a break anymore, cannot get his 26x anymore, or her 26x average girl. Not saying you're average, but like non-institutional investor, right?
Yeah.
Is taking advantage of the regular people. And I'm thinking, but isn't that just maturity? We wanted them to come into the space. Now they are in the space, and clearly, obviously, they represent more money. So with more money coming in from TradFi.
I don't think he was talking about Bitcoin here, though.
He was talking about altcoins.
Exactly, and institutions aren't really getting into altcoins as much. You
make a really good point. Now you make a really good point. I totally missed that. You're right. He was talking about altcoins.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, well, what you're basically saying is the little guys getting squeezed out, dude. That's what happens in markets when the big guys come in. But you're right. The big guns are not in.
He's not talking about that, though. He's talking about the market manipulation on the insider trading front. And I do agree. There's a lot of cabals. There's a lot of inside groups, a lot of market manipulation in terms of price sniping, and ICOs just aren't launching the way that they used to, because now we have bots and we have AI and we have all these different tools that people are using to get the lowest price possible. All of a sudden they own 98% of the supply, and the little guys are getting squeezed out.
This you actually just answered the question I was going to ask, which was like, so what's happening? How is this happening if it's still all mostly retail in altcoins, and there's some market manipulation going on? What's going on?
I had this discussion like a couple of days ago with some friends of mine. It's the same conversation. It's so hard to launch a proper token now because people are expecting your 5 or 6x. You cannot get a 5 or 6x because there's so much noise. How are you going to get investors the proper way? You need to bot it so that you look like there's price action. If you're botting it, then you're squeezing out the little guys. You're not doing a fair launch. So me as a retail investor, like you'll see in the trading competition, I have not gone into a meme coin in months.
Yeah. Well, moving to the trading competition, let me just be really quick here. I moved one thing. I sold my EA and I bought with a good profit, and I bought ASML, the Dutch folks from the south, the chip makers maker. And now I have Bitcoin. Bitcoin down 6% since I bought it. TSMC down 7% since I bought it. ASML, okay, it's sort of flat, 0.3. Nvidia up 29% since I bought it. And Broadcom up 40% since I bought it. And AMD down 4.3. Palantir down 17%. In total, I lost over the last month 33% of my gains, a third in a month. That's why I started doing some changes. And I'm now at $125 from the $100 I started with in early June. So in 5 months, I managed to make $100 into 125. But I'm a bad loser. I don't see the plus 25. I just see the 15 I've lost, because I was up at 140 at a certain point, and now I'm at 125.
I know, it's hard. It's hard too. It's a tough pill to swallow, because you're like, I'll make it back. I'll make it back. And that's what's been happening with me in Sol. As you can see, I haven't sold my Solana. It's still 0.8 Solana. And I am at $114.88 today, because the price has dropped from my initial 187 to 143, and I'm not selling. I just refuse to sell.
So what is your portfolio now? Where are you at?
$114.
114, because you have everything in Solana, and you, man, it's not even funny. It's like, normally I would laugh at you because that's the kind of person I am. And but
it's quite funny to me, to be honest. I mean, look, crypto's just a roller coaster. I got in at $80. I'm still up on my personal portfolio. For the trading competition, I might be down, but it did go up to $250. And it's now sitting at 140. I still got in at 80, then got in again at 100.
Exactly. And that's the hard part with this. What I do find interesting is, this is my question to you. Do we stop and then we start again on January 1st and we have a winner for the first 6 months? Or do we keep going with the same one? Because clearly it makes a huge difference when you start. It makes a huge difference on your performance. So what is wisdom? Do we say 2025 was won by, well, clearly it's Michiel right now. But
don't encourage me with my
look-
pump fund tokens.
I'm egging you on. Do something, woman. Do something.
If I'm gonna lose drastically and turn it into $2, or I'm gonna win.
So here's my final question to you. I had this discussion with our Tracer Advisory Board member, Patrick Buteux, this morning. I like Patrick. I think if I would have to invest now, considering that the tech stocks are down and the other stocks in the stock market are not doing great other than defense stocks, but have already gone up so much this year, isn't this a great time to go all in on Bitcoin? Just go. Freak it. If you have, maybe buy some US bonds, but 50%, do the other 15 Bitcoin. What do you think? Because it's, in the long run, you're going to make money on it, I still think.
What was that? Ray Dalio, he had said to have up to 15% of your portfolio in gold and Bitcoin. So just want to start with that. I think that's a very safe.
15, 1-5, Ray Dalio.
1-5, yeah.
He's probably right.
Yeah, up to 15%.
But that's not us, baby.
That's not me. I'm a DJ, but that's why I don't give financial advice. I give other people's advice.
And I'm an idiot.
But I did buy more Bitcoin today. That's all I'm going to say.
That's the thing, huh? Don't you? So I guess here's where you really see the true believers. I think it's undervalued. And I don't think because Bitcoin has a value, but I think there's so much distrust in the world against traditional currencies, traditional stocks, there will be more people buying it. It's all supply demand. So I still think in the long run, it will go up.
You know, what I love is that in the long run, when you zoom out and remove yourself from the industry, we are still so early. To put it in perspective, I help Ryder with a bit of PR work, and we got feedback that some of the journalists were rejecting the pitches because they didn't want to cover crypto. Now imagine being a journalist in 2025 and not wanting to cover cryptocurrency because it's too risky. Imagine how many people in the world feel that way.
Yeah.
We are still so early as an industry.
But are they wrong though? I mean, could you do well without crypto? I think you could. I'm
not saying you can't do well. I'm saying that undeniably Bitcoin itself and other cryptocurrencies, even stable coins, are going to play a role in the future of finance. And you just cannot escape it. Whether you get in now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you will somehow be involved in crypto.
Yeah, I encourage all my nephews and nieces. I don't have kids, just to be clear for the viewers and listeners, and they're all relieved now that I don't. But I do have a lot of nephews and nieces, cousins and all those, like more than 40. I do encourage them to dabble in crypto because I want them to understand what it is. And then you can make a decision if you want to get involved or not. But first, understand what it is.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be so important. And so it means even if you have 100 in it, $100, fine, just do that.
Remember this quote by Henry Ford? It's been my quote of the week. I swear I brought it up in every Twitter space, every podcast, everything that I've done this week. And he had said, if we asked our people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. Yeah. This guy built the Ford empire. And it's true. People want what they're used to. And I think that's what the AI companies are giving without realizing that it's absolutely terrifying for us to see a humanoid. You remember when the Roomba came out, the robotic vacuum that would just go around your house and bump into everything?
Yeah, I had it.
Everyone did, because it made your life easier. It's what do you want to fix the solutions? And it was such an easy sell. You no longer have to clean your house. Here's a robot to do it for you. So, and I think that trend needs to come back about robotics fixing our day-to-day processes rather than an assistant human. How do you fight off a robot?
I don't know. With that message, how do you fight off robot, we'll be closing this week. We'll see you next week. And we may have a very special guest. Do you want to hint about the special guest that we have on? Our first guest.
Our first guest is cybersecurity company's C-suite. One of the largest cybersecurity companies in the crypto space. And I've known this company for years. Absolutely love them. Love what they do. One of the most trusted companies. And I'd love his take on, what's going on in the industry in terms of hacks, how you can stay safe as users, and I guess main blockers of entrance. As you remember last week, we talked about close to $1 billion being hacked, or stolen in funds and decentralized finance. So it's one of those topics that I think is quite pressing.
All right. Thanks so much, everyone, for listening and watching. And We hope to see you next week when we have someone with valuable insights for once.
That's right. And like and subscribe and share, because that helps us grow. And we surpassed 5,000 users, 5,000 listeners on some of our episodes. And so everything that you do to share us really helps.
Thanks. See you next week.